This is a smartphone review, right? So what am I doing sitting next to my dishwasher? Well, that's where the phone is. Yep, my brand new smartphone is inside the dishwasher and it's on. Let's take a look. Woo! And here it is, still recording. Let's stop that. And it still works. Can you do this with your average smartphone? Maybe this isn't your average smartphone. Meet the OnePlus 13 series. And while there's been 12 of these before this one, I've never set eyes on a OnePlus phone before now. So in this review, I'll take a look at what makes the brand stand out, what this Android smartphone is good for, and what kind of unique or special features it has too. Yep, aside from the dishwasher trick. I'll also talk about what that test, though, shows us about this phone. Let's get to it, and I'll take just a second to say thanks to OnePlus for sending me a phone to try out for a month before its public launch. Well, the company did provide me the device. It hasn't asked for or received permission to have any input into this review, so these thoughts are all mine. Unboxing this, it's definitely a nice looking phone on first impression. I've got the white variant called Arctic Dawn, and it's got a nice tactile matte glass back, which OnePlus says is resistant to fingerprints, and I'd agree with. The main screen is also glass with a special ceramic coating that OnePlus says will help prevent cracks and scratches, and if you do mash it big time, the coating can keep breaks from spreading. I'm not sure whether it's the coating or the tech, but with this phone you can use the screen with gloves on or while it's wet, which is pretty cool. This is an Android phone, so it's going to have all those basics, including Gmail, Chrome web browser, Google Home, and YouTube all baked in, but OnePlus calls its operating system Oxygen OS 15. Where this one stands out is the big clock face dial on the back that houses the camera array. The camera in this phone is made by Hasselblad, which is a pretty well-known high-end Swedish camera maker. There's 3 lenses in the circle plus a light sensor. The main camera is a 50 megapixel camera, which is designed to create a high image quality even in low light. A special coating is supposed to help photos turn out better by reducing reflectivity, glare, and floaters. There's also a 120-degree ultra-wide-angle camera with another 50 megapixel sensor, ideal for landscapes. And finally, there's a killer telephoto camera, which can zoom in so far there's almost no way you'll be able to frame up your subject without a tripod without losing it. This is often called a telescope or periscope camera, and without nerding out too deeply on what sets this lens apart when it comes to the guts, in a nutshell, there's more prisms to bring in more light. The camera goes to 3 times optical zoom while still incorporating a lot of light into the lens. Amazingly, you can take this lens up to almost 120 times digital zoom with what's called the AI telephoto function. What does that mean? Essentially, that beyond 10 times zoom, the phone will automatically use artificial intelligence to fill in what it can't actually see. This is quite visible on a couple of zoom photos I took at the extreme end of that zoom lens. As you can see in this photo I took of an airplane passing high overhead, the AI assistant has really smoothed the lines and the edges and enhanced what's already there to make it look a little bit sharper even if the actual detail isn't visible. For example, on the plane you can't see markings or windows, but the edges of it are quite sharp. Similarly, on an extreme zoom close-up of my floor, it looks almost like AI has drawn in cracks and highlights and lowlights, so it does look fairly unnatural. But compare it to this close-up photo I took with an iPhone, which I had to hold just a couple millimeters from the floor to get, or here's what an extreme zoom looks like from the iPhone. It's just blurry noise. Lastly, on this shot I took of a tree about 2 blocks away, it looks like it might as well be in my own backyard, but here's what that same shot looks like from the iPhone. So depending on what you're trying to photograph and how badly you want the shot, the slight artifice may be worth it. Another smartphone pain point has also been the inability to get good fast motion shots without blurring. With the OnePlus 13 here, the camera uses something called a dual exposure algorithm. With a single shutter button press, the camera takes both a short and a long exposure image and then stitches them together automatically in real time. I tried this out taking photos of Kika playing fetch, and I got some pretty good motion shots. Similarly, trying to get Rainy to catch a biscuit midair froze the action pretty well. Capturing that fast action is also made easier with burst mode, which can be used just by pushing and holding the shutter button. Overall, the photographs this smartphone will take are outstanding. The detail detail you can capture is pretty stunning, and the color depth will blow your mind. I liked it so much I couldn't help taking photos of the sunset nearly every night. When it comes to the video, it won't surprise you that I've been using the OnePlus 13 here to record parts of my review. With 4K or even 8K video capture and even retouching on the go, you can get some pretty impressive results with this phone. We all want thinner and lighter phones and more battery life too, of course, but that does pose a design and engineering challenge. OnePlus answers the call with a 6,000 milliamp hour battery the company says should get days of use. By comparison, an iPhone 14 has 3,200 milliamp hours and a Google Pixel 9 has 4,700. With wired fast charging, you can fully recharge this phone in just 36 minutes, and it also supports 50-watt wireless charging. Circling back to where we started, anyone who's ever accidentally dropped their phone into the toilet, a pool, or just left it in a pocket and put it in the laundry knows how important water resistance can be. I've been pretty impressed to report the OnePlus 13 boasts both IP68 and IP69 ratings, which means unlike most smartphones, the OnePlus 13 can withstand not only water immersion into deep water, but also it can withstand powerful high-temperature water jets too. That's where my dishwasher test comes in. From hot water to high pressure and even soap, the phone was able to withstand a washing cycle and come out and get right back to work with no problems. Now, while that may be a bit of a gimmicky test that's probably not going to happen in real life, I do know people who've left their phone in a hoodie pocket and tossed it into the laundry. A lot of phones would be ruined by that, but as you can see here, my OnePlus 13 went through a wash cycle with soap, and it's no worse for the wear. Overall, this phone has really impressed me. Let's take a look at both the pros and the cons so we can see if it might be a good bet for you. On the pro side, it is a beautiful full-sized Android phone. The water resistance is beyond outstanding, and the camera takes amazing photos. Plus, the AI zoom assistance can really help you capture and preserve a shot that might otherwise be missed. With a huge battery that buries the competition, this is an ideal phone for busy people. So what are the potential downsides? I suppose some people could be annoyed by the giant protruding camera dial on the back here, but with a case slapped on, it's probably going to become far less noticeable. In the time that I've spent with this phone, I haven't found any major issues or complaints, but this is also my first time with this brand, so I don't have a lot to compare it to. In short, if you're in the market for an Android phone and your preference is to steer away from one of the more obvious choices, and particularly if you're looking to really improve your photo and video game, this is going to be a phone I think you'll really, really like. OnePlus 13 series sells for about $899 US or $1249 Canadian. And I've reviewed plenty of smartphones. Check out some of those reviews right now.